crazy how all of my childhood report cards said LaNail talks too much? And here I am on stage talking again. Hey, y'all. No, but seriously, isn't it interesting how somebody will see something in us and call it a flaw, call it a problem, wanting to suppress it and put it off to the side, right? Because they don't see the greatness in it. They don't see the gift in it. They don't see the talent in it. But not today. Here I stand in front of you, the extraordinary, the talented, the gifted Dr. LaNail Plummer. But the truth is, I haven't always felt that way. As a child, I was full of insecurities. I used to love reading books and sharing my thoughts and raising my hand when a question was asked. But I also recognized that I didn't quite fit in. There was something that was a little different about me, something that the people wanted to put off to the side. Maybe because they didn't quite understand me. Maybe because they didn't understand themselves. And subsequently, they projected onto me. They gaslit, if you will, right? But I'm not the only one. I'm sure there's many of us in here that didn't quite fit in, where somebody told us that we have to be different, do something different, put ourselves to the side. Maybe they said we were too much, right? Too brown, not coming from the right neighborhoods, not having the right family structure, right? Not having the right education background. But in reality, it was just that they didn't understand. But it wasn't just one or two people that did that. It was a whole society that did that. A whole society that told us that we were too much of something. And subsequently, because of that judgment, because of that confusion, we put our true selves to the side. And we created these false identities to fit in, these false identities so that we could avoid judgment. Because judgment isn't just an emotion. It isn't just a thought. It isn't just an experience. It's the thing that weaves itself into our very essence. And we forget who we are, right? And subsequently, that's traumatic. That is trauma, y'all. That is trauma. It was trauma. We were part of trauma. And you may say, okay, Doc, so what we gonna do about it? Well, don't worry, I got you. I'm gonna tell you today, don't worry. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is to redefine ourselves. Because isn't that why we're here today? That reverb, we are redefining our identity today. And we got a little clear path ahead of us because our ancestors already came through and cleared out some of that bush, right? And so now we get to just stand into the trueness of who we are. So as we do that, let's explore a couple key emotions that happens during redefinition. And then we're going to explore a couple key clinical elements that happen during this redefinition. And then I'm going to leave you with some tips. The first emotion is grief. There's parts of ourselves that we are going to lose during this process. There's parts of ourselves that we used to be comfortable with but no longer fit. There's the calluses that put on us by socialization that will no longer fit and no longer be there. There are people that were in our lives based off of our old identity that won't fit anymore in our new space. And so we're going to grieve. We're going to lose something. We're going to feel it, right? That second emotion is confusion. Because after you remove that callus from yourself, you're going to sit there and say, well, who am I? Who am I supposed to be? Who am I designed to be? And how do I even get there? So we experience that confusion. But that last emotion, that's hope. It's the hope to know that you can finally become who you want it to be. Today is the day that you get to be who you've always wanted to be. And there's a process to get there, but there's that hope that keeps us there, positive and motivated. And as we switch from these emotions and we go into the clinical elements, let's explore a couple of them. There's the core beliefs. These are beliefs that we got accustomed to in our childhood. The things that people told us that we were. The things that people told us we should be. They told us how to act, when to be, when to act proud, and when to put it to the side. Subsequently, we internalized those core beliefs, and it taught us how to see ourselves, how to see others, how to see the world, And subsequently, some of those core beliefs became cognitive distortions. That second element is suppression and repression. This is the Freudian term for denial. Denying yourself, putting yourself to the side. Now, the suppression and repression are clinical terms that are talking about whether you deny yourself consciously, subconsciously, or unconsciously, but it's there. That last term is emotional defenses. Don't act like y'all don't know. Everybody that took Psychology 101 knows Freud's psychology, emotional defenses, such as intellectualization or rationalization. This is when we intellectualize or we rationalize why it has been okay to deny our authentic self, right? And that becomes a problem in itself. And so now we get to the point of, so what are we going to do about it? We know these emotions, grief, confusion, hope. We know these core clinical elements, core beliefs, suppression and repression, and emotional defenses. And now let's get to the work. The first thing we're going to do as we are redefining ourselves is connected to our source. Ashe. We are here for a purpose. Our ancestors have designed for us to be here for a reason. They gave us certain sensitivities, certain emotional traits, certain personality traits, certain characteristics, even down to the way they designed our bodies. Our height, our voice is all part of a package, part of the gift, part of our true identity. So we go to the source and we ask the source, what do you want from me? How am I supposed to do this? What is my gift? Clear my confusion and show me what my true identity is. That second piece is that we are going to study ourselves. Here we are at George Washington University. So many universities around us. Shout out to Howard University. Ain't you? All right. So many different universities. So many of us study all the time. We study these degrees. We study for certificates. We study people. We study our bosses. We study up. We study down, right? We're always studying everything around us, but not taking a fraction of that time to study ourselves. Who are you? Why are you this way? What is good? What needs to be released a little bit? What do I enjoy? Why am I sensitive when they said this or they said that? We got to study ourselves. We got to spend that time alone with just ourselves. That same effort you put into getting that good grade, put that same effort into yourself, right? And you may say, how am I going to study myself? What am I going to do? Well, you're going to first get in contact with your 5 senses. You all remember the 5 senses from 4th grade, right? Hear, oh, y'all don't remember? Y'all remember? Hear, taste, right? Touch, feel. What are you sensitive about? Because that's part of your personality. That's part of why you're here. That's part of your gift. That's what we're supposed to be doing, right? So we have this connecting with our source. We have this studying ourselves through these sensitivities. We have this idea of just being and redefining and learning ourselves. I feel good? All right, good, because that's really all I have to say. No, but seriously, before I get off the stage, I do want you to do your very best to redefine yourself and to study yourself and get connected with who you are. I had the beautiful journey of doing such as well. And I want to leave you with the idea that when you are going through this process of redefinition, it is a journey. There are going to be mountains and there's going to be valleys. There's going to be highs and there's going to be lows. And in that process, you are going to be trailblazing the creation of the new you, the redefinition of the new you. And anytime we trailblaze, we walk paths that have not been there. And subsequently, we may get scratched by a branch. We may accidentally run into a tree. We may fall into a ditch. It may get dark and we don't know what we see around us. But equally so, when you are trailblazing, you get the opportunity to see flowers that have never been seen. And you get the opportunity to see trees that have never been touched and step into ponds and rivers that have not ever been touched either. And most importantly, you get to see this new light, the sun in a different way, an illumination, and you get to be the new light. Don't worry about me, y'all. The truth is, I'm done here. But I am going to really go on LinkedIn and research all those old teachers who told me I talk too much and let them know what I'm doing today. Thank you so much, Ashe.